Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Sakshat Hari Tvena Samastra Shastre Ukta Satava Yataiva Sadvi Kintu Prabhurya Priyaiva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Yasha Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasha Prasada Nagati Kutopi Yayastu Antasya Yashastri Sandhya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu.
Once more.
Sansara Dava Nalalida Loka Pranaya Karunya Gana Ganatva Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Mahaprabhu Ki Tananitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasora Sena Romancha Kampa Shutaranga Vajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Vigrahara Dhananitya Nana Shringara Tanma Nirmarjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Shayunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Chaturveda Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swadhana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha Kritveva Tripte Bhajata Sadeva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Radhika Madhavayara Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namna Pratikshana Swamanlalupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Nikunjayono Ratikeli Siddhe Yaya Liberio Pirapekshaniya Tatra Didaksha Dativalyavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Sakshat Hari Tvena Samastra Shastre Uktastatava Yataiva Sadvi Kintu Prabhurya Priyaiva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Yasha Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasha Prasada Nagati Kudopi Yayastu Antasya Yashastri Sandhya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaine Hiranyakashipurvaksha Shriladankanakhalaya Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha Oh Hey Narsimha Hirdaye Narsimha Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringam Keshravadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad
Tulsi
Namo Namo
Ganda Ganda Tulsi Devya
Acha Vrindaye Tulsi Devya Praya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavate Namo Namo Vrindaye Tulsi Devya Praya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavate Namo Namo Vrindaye Tulsi Devya Praya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavate Namo 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 Tulasi Krishna Priyase Namo Namo Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi Ye Tumhara Sharan Lay Tara Vancha Purna Kripa Kari Kara Kare Vrindavana Vasi Mora Heya Vilas Kunja Devas Anehri Bosada Yugala Ruparashi Hey Nivedana Dharo Saturanugata Karo Sevadhikara Diye Karo Nijadasi Dina Krishna Dase Kaye Namara Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sadaye Nabase Yanikani Japa Pani Brahmatyadikani Cha Tanitani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yanikani Japa Pani Brahmatyadikani Cha Tanitani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Yanikani Vrindaye Tulsi Devya Praya Keshavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavate Namo Namo Vrindaye tulsi devya pray Keshavachacha Vishnu bhakti pradevi Satyavate namo namaha. Vrindaye tulsi devya pray Keshavachacha Vishnu bhakti pradevi Satyavate namo namaha.
Okay, you want to read now?
Ramani को read
Yes, Madam.
Take a paper, pen.
pen paper ले लो note बना उधर से लिखा और कुछ डालो
There are three things, Maharaj. First is the significance of Akshaya Tritiya, all the points, what all auspicious days are there. Second is the story of Madhvendra Puri by Radhanath Maharaj. And third is the back to coded article on this topic by Srila Prabhupada. Yes. First reading the significance of Akshaya Tritiya. There are 11 points. First, Lord Parshuram appeared on this day. Second, river Ganges descended to earth on this day. Third, this day marks the beginning of Treta Yuga. Fourth, Sudama visited Kṛṣṇa at Dwarka. Fifth, the Pandavas received Akshay Patra from the sun god. Sixth, Vyasdev started composing Mahabharata on this day. Seventh, Adi Shankaracharya composed Kanakadhar Stotram on this day. Eighth, Kuber received his wealth and position as custodian of wealth. Ninth, Goddess Annapurna Devi appeared on this day. 10th, every year the Rath Yatra festival is celebrated at Jagannath Puri. The three chariots of Jagannath, Nandi Ghosh, Baldev, Taldhwaj and Subhadra, Darpadalan are newly built every year with the wood of specific trees. The construction of the chariots for Rath Yatra begins on the day of Akshaya Tritiya. 11th, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Before starting ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada incorporated a society called the League of Devotees at Jhansi on the auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya in 1953. Now, auspiciousness, Akshaya Tritiya is the very auspicious day. There is no inauspiciousness to be found today. So even checking muhurtas is considered unnecessary. So auspicious it is. Whatever one does for devotees and for Kṛṣṇa, that person will get more benefit, and it is eternal benefit and never lost. Akshay means that which will not get diminished. Hence, Akshaya Tritiya is believed to be bringing never-ending success in the life of the devotees. Every year, Akshaya Tritiya is celebrated on the third day of the bright half of lunar month of Vaishakh month of Hindu calendar. The festival of Akshaya Tritiya, which is said to bestow all auspiciousness of any undertaking being started on this day, is observed all over India to commemorate various pastimes of the Lord. It is on this day that Lord Rishabhdev broke his 1 year fast that he had been observing by drinking sugar cane juice. Also, it is said that when the Pandavas were in exile with Draupadi after having lost in the unfair gambling match with the wicked Duryodhan, they had an Akshay Patra, and this was bestowed upon them on the auspicious day. 5,000 years ago, when Srila Vyasdev, the literary incarnation of Kṛṣṇa, wanted to start writing the fifth Veda, the great epic Mahabharata, he implored Ganesha to be the scribe, upon which Ganesh agreed to do as asked on the fulfillment of one condition. He informed Vyasdev that he wanted him to speak continuously without stopping, or else he would leave writing. Vyasdev agreed to this, but in return he too put a condition that Ganesha should not write anything till he understands. When they reached an agreement, the auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya was chosen to start writing this great literature. The great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, Sudama Vipra, who was in Rishi Sandipani The The great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, Sudama Vipra, who was in Rishi Sandipni Muni's Gurukul with the Lord, visited Dwarkadhish on this day and offered Krishna some chipped rice, as he was a poor Brahmin, but he saturated it with pure love and devotion. And although the offering of his friend was very meager, the Lord disregarded this and only saw the pure feeling with which Sudama had offered him the rice, and being merciful, the Lord bestowed upon his friend all that one could possibly desire of. Then now I'm reading the story of Madhvendra Puri as told by Radhanath Maharaj.
Next.
Yes, ma'am. I'm reading the Back to Godhead article by Srila Prabhupada.
Read.
Yes. The article name is How Krishna Became the Milk Thief for the Sake of His Beloved Devotee by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A young cowherd boy appeared before Madhvendra Puri and offered him a pot of milk. Lord,
This is the same story.
Same story.
yes, ma'am, same story.
Yeah, definitely.
अक्षय तृतीया का और कुछ है क्या?
मेन तुम्हारे लिए तीन चीजें
Some stories also.
एक समय देखो some definitions. एक सेकंड. There are few more points, Maharaj. बाकी तो सब जगह यही points repeat सारी websites. First is Simhachal.
Auspicious.
हाँ वो read किया हमारा 7 points जो हैं. The Lord Parshuram appeared on this day. River Ganges descended to earth on this day. Third, the day marks the beginning of Treta Yuga. Fourth, Sudama visited Krishna at Dwarka. Fifth, the Pandavas received Akshay Patra from the sun god. Sixth, Vyasadeva started composing Mahabharata on this day.
Story I need to find.
Yes. Brief में read करो. First is Simhachalam. Simhachalam is the abode of Lord Narasimha. The deity of Lord Narasimha is always covered with sandal paste. On this day of Akshay Tritiya, which occurs 11 days before Narasimha Jayanti, the appearance of Lord Narasimha Dev, the sandal paste is removed and Abhishek is performed. This is the only day on which the devotees will get to see the form of the Lord. On the same evening, the deity is again covered with sandalwood paste. Second is Jagannath Puri. Every year, the Rath Yatra festival is celebrated at Jagannath Puri. The 3 chariots of Jagannath, Nandi Ghosh, Baldev Taldwaj, and Subhadra Darpadalan, are newly built every year with the wood of specific trees. The construction of the chariots for Rath Yatra begins on the day of Akshay Tritiya. The third is Remuna. In the temple of Shir Chor Gopinath, the deities of Madan Mohan, Govind and Gopinath are smeared with sandalwood pulp on this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. This tradition is followed from the time of Sri Madhvendra Puri, one of the acharyas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, who travelled from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri on the order of Gopal deity to collect sandalwood and camphor. On the way back, the deity of Gopal ordered Madhvendra Puri to grind the sandalwood with camphor and apply it on the Gopinath deity, because the deity of Gopal and Gopinath are non-different. The deity of Gopinath stole a sweet rice pot for his dear devotee Madhvendra Puri, and hence the name Shir Chor Gopinath. Fourth is Badrinath. In Badrinath, the temples of Gangotri and Yamunotri are closed during winters, and on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, the shrines open for the pilgrims. Next, Kumbakonam. Kumbakonam, the temple city, celebrates Garuda Vahan Seva for Vishnu deities, Perumal, from 12 different temples. Garuda, also known as Venateya, is the bird carrier of Lord Vishnu. He is the king of all the birds. In Vedic literature, it is stated that the two wings of Garuda are two divisions of Samaved, known as Bhrit and Ratnabhar. The vibration generated by the flapping of his wings form the basis of Samaved mantras. So this temple is open on Akshaya Tritiya. Next, Guru Pushya. Then Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, incorporated the League of Devotees on 16th May 1953 on the day of Akshaya Tritiya.
If you go to Wikipedia,
Yes, ma'am.
you-
Yes, Wikipedia.
go ahead and go ahead.
Akshaya Tritiya, also known as Akti or Akha Teej, is an annual Hindu festival. It falls on the third tithi of the bright half, Shukla Paksh, of the month of Vaishak. It is regionally observed as an auspicious day by Hindus. It signifies the third day of unending prosperity. Then the Hindu tradition. Akshaya Tritiya is considered auspicious by Hindus in many regions of India and Nepal for new ventures, marriages, expensive investments such as gold or other property, and any new beginnings. It is also a day of remembrance for the loved ones who have died. The day is regionally significant for Grahastas and for those who are starting a new life. After prayers, they distribute germinating seeds, fresh fruits, and Indian sweets. If Akshaya Tritiya falls on Monday, the festival is believed to be even more auspicious. Fasting, charity, and helping others on this day is another festive practice. In Shloka 23 to 24 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, while giving directions, clearly says that the seekers who do any spiritual practice other than activities of worship described in the scriptures, they neither get happiness, nor do they get siddhi, nor do they get salvation. That is vain worship. Seekers should give up all the activities which are not mentioned in Gita, Vedas, that is God-given scriptures. The festival is related the presentation of the Akshay Patra to Draupadi by Kṛṣṇa during the visit of numerous sages, including the sage Durvasa. During the exile in the forest, the Pandavas princes were famished due to the lack of food, and their wife, Draupadi was pained by this because she could not extend the customary hospitality to the guest. Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, prayed to the god Surya, who gave him this bowl, which would remain full till Draupadi served all of their guests. During Durvasa's visit, Krishna made this bowl invincible for Draupadi so that the magical bowl called Akshay Patra would always remain full with food of their choice, even as to satiate the whole universe if required. Akshay Tritiya is believed by Hindus to be the birthday of Parshuram, the sixth avatar of Lord Vishnu. He is revered in Vaishnava temples. Those who observe it in honor of Parshuram sometimes refer it to as Parshuram Jayanti. Alternatively, some focus their reverence on Kṛṣṇa. According to one legend, the sage Vyasa began reciting the Hindu epic Mahabharata to Ganesha on Akshay Tritiya. Another legend states that the river Ganges descended on earth on this day. The Yamunotri temple and Gangotri temple are opened on the auspicious occasion of Akshay Tritiya during the Chota Char Dham pilgrimage, after closing down during the heavy snowfall winters of the Himalayan regions. The temples are opened in the Abhijit Muhurt of the Akshay Tritiya. Another event linked to the day is Sudama's visit to his childhood friend Kṛṣṇa in Dwarka when he received unlimited wealth as boon. Kubera is believed to have been appointed as the god of wealth on this auspicious day. In Odisha, Akshay Tritiya is celebrated during the commencement of the sowing of rice paddy for the ensuing season. The day starts with the ritual worship of Mother Earth, the bullocks, and other traditional farm equipments and seeds by the farmers for the blessings of the good harvest. After plowing the fields, the farmers sow paddy seeds as the symbolic start of the most important crop of the state. In Telugu-speaking states Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the festival is associated with prosperity and purchase of gold. Simhachalam temple observes specific practice rituals on this day. The main deity of the temple is covered in sandalwood paste for the rest of the year, and only on this day are the layers of sandalwood applied to the deity removed to show the underlying statue, displaying the actual form of Nija Rupa Darshanam happened on this day. This day is highly auspicious for those who buy gold and silver, buy rice, deposit money in bank account, buy any kind of new things or vessels, visiting famous temples, donating food and special offer for poor peoples or helping poor children on this day. This was on Wikipedia. I'm checking others also. This Wikipedia part. Okay. I'm reading the Wikipedia. Akshay Tritiya, also known as Akti or Akhatij, is an annual Hindu spring festival. It falls on the third tithi of the bright half of the month of Vaishakha. It is regionally observed as an auspicious day by Hindus in India. It signifies the third day of unending prosperity. In Sanskrit, the word Akshay means never decreasing, in the sense of prosperity, hope, joy. While never decreasing in the sense of prosperity, hope, joy and success. While Tritiya means third phase of the moon. It is named after the third lunar day of the spring month of Vaishakha in the Hindu calendar. Hindu tradition. Akshay Tritiya is considered auspicious by Hindus in many regions of India and Nepal for new ventures like marriage, expensive investments such as gold or other property, and the new beginning. It is also the day of remembrance for the loved ones who have died. The day is regionally significant for married and unmarried who pray for the well-being of their spouse. After prayers, they distribute germinating seeds, fresh fruits, and Indian sweets. If Akshaya Tritiya falls on Monday, the festival is believed to be even more auspicious. Fasting, charity, and helping others on this day is another festive practice. The festival is related to the presentation of the Akshaya Patra to Draupadi by the Lord Krishna during the visit of numerous sages, including the sage Durvasa. During the exile in the forest, the Pandav princes were famished due to the lack of food, and their wife Draupadi was pained by this because she could not extend the customary hospitality to their guests. Yudhishthir, the eldest Pandava, prayed to Surya, who gave him this bowl, which would remain full till Draupadi served all the guests. During Durvasa's visit, Kṛṣṇa made this bowl invincible for Draupadi so that the magical bowl called Akshaya Patra would always remain full with food of their choice, even as to satiate the whole universe if required. Akshaya Tritiya is believed by Hindus to be the birthday of Parshuram. He is revered in Vaishnava temples. Those who observe it in the honor of Parshuram refer this festival as Parshuram Jayanti. Alternatively, some focus their reverence to Lord Krishna. According to the legend, the sage Vyasa began reciting the Hindu epic Mahabharata to Lord Ganesha on Akshaya Tritiya. Another legend states that the river Ganges descended to earth on this day. The Yamunotri temple and Gangotri temple are opened on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya during the Chota Chardham pilgrimage. After closing down during the heavy snowfall-laden winters of these Himalayan regions, the temples are opened on Abhijit Muhurt of Akshaya Tritiya. Another event linked to this day is Sudama's visit to his childhood friend Kṛṣṇa in Dwarka, when he received unlimited wealth as the boon from Kubera. Kubera is believed to have appointed the god of wealth on this auspicious day. In Odisha, Akshaya Tritiya is celebrated during the commencement of the sowing of rice paddy for ensuring the Kharif season. The day starts with ritual worship of Mother Earth, the bullocks, other traditional farm equipments, and seeds by the farmers for the blessings of a good harvest. After plowing the fields, the farmers sow paddy seeds as the symbolic start of the most important Kharif crop of the state. This ritual is called as Akhi Muthi Anukul. Akhi means Akshaya Tritiya, Muthi means fistful of paddy, Anukul commencement or inauguration, and is celebrated with much fanfare throughout the state. In recent years, the event has received much publicity due to the ceremonial Akhimuti Anukul programs organized by the farmers, the construction of the Rath Yatra festivals of Lord Jagannath temple also commences on this day at Puri. In the Telugu speaking states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the festival is associated with prosperity and women purchase gold and jewelry. Samachalam temple observes special festival rituals on this day. The main deity of the temple is covered in sandalwood pulp for the rest of the year, and only on this day are the layers of the sandalwood applied to the deity removed to show the underlying deity, displaying on the actual form or Nijarupa Darshanam happens on this day. This is done, Maharaj. Seeing for any new information.
What?
There's no new information, Maharaj. All this is just repeating. These are the main points, Maharaj. बाकी जगह तो फिर repetition. विकिपीडिया रीड कर दिया.
And in Gayatri,
Yes. Maybe same points repeated. Yes, desired tree also. Same points are repeated. I'll read this as well. Chandan Yatra starts on this day, which is celebrated as well as the day on which Treta Yuga began. Barely one of the main ingredients of Homa, which is Yuga Dharma of Treta Yuga, was also created on this day. Ganga Devi also descended to the earth on this day. Many common people have special puja on this day. One should bathe in the sacred rivers, give charity, perform japa, and offer barley in a sacrifice fire and offer barley preparations to the deity. Akshaya Tritiya is the very auspicious day. There is no inauspiciousness to be found today, so even checking muhurtas is considered unnecessary. So auspicious it is. Whatever one does for devotees and for Krishna, that person will get more benefit, and it is eternal benefit and never lost. There is one story of a Brahman. There was a Brahman who had a very good wife and was poor. Whatever little money he got would get spent somehow. Also, he did not have children. So, under the strong request of his wife, he went to Vasishtha Muni to know the reason for his suffering. Vasishtha Muni told him that in his previous life he was very rich and also had many children, but he was very stingy. He was not even spending for his own children. This is the reason for his being poor, also without children. Then what Brahmana asked Vasishtha Muni why he got a good wife? So the Muni replied that somehow, with some reason, he observed that the Vrat of Vaishakha month for the last 5 days. So he got a good wife and also the Brahman birth. Then the Muni advised him to follow at least the 7 days left of Vaishakha month with devotion to Lord Krishna. Since that Brahman observed the Vrata of Vaishakha month for that at least the left out 7 days, he got sons. He became rich. Ultimately, he got love of Godhead and went back to the spiritual world. It is important to hear such a story, pastime as this, so that at least by hearing this, we engage ourselves in the service of Lord Krishna. Thus, becoming inspired to always render service, the devotee is always the beneficiary of such interaction with the Vaishnavas. Akshaya Tritiya, from the calendar of Madhva Vaishnavas, the third day of bright fortnight of Vaishakhas is the day of incarnation of Lord Parshuram. The icon is decorated with an axe to depict him as the heroic pose. This coincides with the anniversary of passing of Sri 𝐏𝐺𝐧 𝐅𝐫𝐞𝐞, the 6th Acharya in the lineage of Pejawar Mutt. He is famous for his commentary upon the Srimad Bhagavad epic. He lived in the 15th century and his Vrindavan Samadhi is in Kanav Teerth. There is also a peepal tree by the side of Vrindavan under which he believed to have written his commentary. During the tenure of Sri Pejawar Matha, a special festival is arranged in Sri Krishna Mutt on this day, and the Akshay Patra given by Sri Madhva is offered a special puja. This Akshay Patra is said to have been given by the sun god. It is the same pot that Mother Draupadi used to cook in. It is said that from the time of turning it upwards for use or on a day, that pot will provide unlimited amount of foodstuffs for the satisfaction of the Lord. There is a story in this connection wherein the angry Draupadi, angry sage Durvasa came to Draupadi demanding foods. On the Pandavas' return to Hastinapur, they reside in the palace created for them by the demon Mayadanav. Mayasura built the palace out of gratitude to Krishna for saving him in the forest fire in the Khanda forest.
कितना टाइम हुआ
6:53 6:53 Gopal. Sorry Gopal.
5 मिनट बाकी है
Mayasur built the palace out of gratitude to Krishna for saving him in the forest fire in the Khanda forest, where he was hiding when Agni devoured it. He also presented Bhima with a magnificent fighting club. After the Rajsuya sacrifice was performed, Duryodhan, being always envious of the Pandavas, came to the mansion created by Maydanav's illusion. Bewildered by illusion of many kinds, Duryodhan mistook the solid floor for water and lifted the ends of his garment to walk forward, and what he thought was shallow water, but it was solid floor. And after a few more steps, he fell into waist deep water, mistaking it for a solid floor. Proud Duryodhan, who was wearing his crown and a costly necklace, was very angry, but when he fell into the water, everyone laughed, especially Draupadi and Bhima. Yudhishthir tried to check the laughing of all the women in the palace by raising his hand and his glances. Lord Krishna, however, encouraged it by the suggestive gestures of his eyebrows. Humiliated and swearing revenge, Duryodhan turned his face towards and went back to Hastinapur. The Kurus then made a conspiracy to trick Yudhishthir into a gambling match by which the Kauravas could cheat the Pandavas out of everything with the dice made from Shakuni's bones. During the match, Yudhishthir lost his kingdom, wealth, jewelry, clothing, and finally even gambled and lost his wife. When Dushasan went to fetch the chaste Draupadi, she said that she couldn't come to the assembly as she was undergoing her monthly period and was only dressed in one piece of cloth. Draupadi had a beautiful bunch of hair which was sanctified at the ceremonial Rajsurya Yajna, but Dushasan defied that a sacred lady and grabbed her by her hair just to insult her. When he started to pull off her sari just to make her naked, Draupadi, realizing that she had no hope of help from her husbands, as they too had lost by Yudhishthir being tricked into upholding mundane moralistic codes and now had no free will to act. Though Bhima was transcendentally situated from such a sentimental code, his brothers tried to make him restrained to follow Yudhishthir's mood and etiquette. Draupadi then sent person completely surrendered to Krishna, and to the amazement to the assembly, as such sari as Dushasan took from the body as much as got replaced. Lord Krishna, though protecting his surrendered devotee, decided for their sinful behavior the Kurus would be inevitably killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and all the wives would too loosen their hair in public, but this time as widows. When the Pandavas were exiled to the forest for 12 years after a second gambling match, the Kurus made a clause that after the completion of 12 years, the Pandavas had then to spend 1 year incognito. thus making 13 years of all told. If during the final year the Pandavas' whereabouts were discovered, they again had to spend another 12 years in the forest. Because the Pandavas were concerned how to feed the Brahmanas who accompanied them to the forest, Srimati Draupadi Devi was given a pot by the sun god called by Akshay Patra.
Yeah. Yeah, time.
6:56. Now 53.
This pot would never be empty until Draupadi had taken her meal and turned the pot upside down. Then it would produce no more for the day. Once Draupadi had finished cooking and had just taken her meal, when the Muni Durvasa arrived with many of his disciples, the angry sage Durvasa and his disciples had secretly been asked to go there by the Kauravas, who knew that by the time Draupadi would have taken her meal, and if she was unable to offer them anything to eat, she would incur the wrath of Durvasa. Durvasa and his disciples went to the river to bathe and freshen up before taking their meal. Draupadi, full of anxiety, prayed to Lord Krishna for help. Lord Shri Krishna then told Draupadi that if there was a morsel of food left, he would be satisfied if that were offered by Draupadi, his pure devotee with love to him. Seeing a fragment of spinach stuck in the side of the pot, Krishna asked for it. Draupadi offered it to Krishna, and simply by eating the morsel of the foodstuff, all the Durvasa's men and Durvasa himself became completely full and satisfied, and out of embarrassment slipped away and did come to demand a meal from Draupadi, as the sinful Duryodhan had arranged for them to do. This is from Gayatri, and there is another blog on this, but same repetition is there, Maharaja. और तो कुछ नहीं, there's nothing new more which is there. Once in Maharaja Rishi Kumar Prabhu's calling. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, sir. I'm with Guru Maharaj. Okay. Just.